4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married Into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
I had to ask her to smile.
I was supposed to say it first.
Yeah, well, I had to ask her to smile because I noticed that at the beginning of all of our podcasts, it's like she's just deadpan, straight face. I'm a hostage. It's like she's going to hold up a sign any second saying, "Somebody help me."
I'm going to smile this whole time.
She's been looking like the Joker. For those of you that are not on YouTube, definitely go and look because my wife became the Joker. I was just trying to hold that space. Hey, we welcome you back to a podcast that is all about marriage, right? We've been married for 27 plus years, and we've gone through some stuff, and we like to share not just our experiences, but open up the doors to a variety of other individuals, either subject matter experts or other couples that have gone over and gone through some adversity to get to the other side.
Mm-hmm. It's like Lovey said, we talk about all things marriage, how some of the challenges that you may be going through, how it's affecting you or how you've gone through them or how you navigate through them. You know, we always like feedback to give us your idea or your perspective on some of the things that, you know, maybe you don't agree with what we said. We not finna do that, sister. I mean, you might have that, or you might just be like, yep, you right, girl.
Every now and then, this might end up being one of those episodes that goes down as being controversial. But before we go there, do us a favor. Wherever you're listening to us or watching us, make sure you go over and hit subscribe and then share it with a friend. Leave a review. If you feel so inclined, we would appreciate it. It helps to actually expand the conversation. It opens it up to more individuals to be discoverable. That way, we can have a more robust conversation around the topic of marriage, relationships, and the joys. It's not always a problem. We celebrate the joys as well.
Right.
And there's a lot of joy. Mm-hmm. And if you're not experiencing joy, there's a variety of things you can do. You can go to marriedintocrazy.com and see all the different ways that we bless marriages. Right. So there's coaching, there's clothing, get you some gear. It's summertime. There's some great T-shirts, whatever. Let people know how married into crazy you really are with a hat, a T-shirt. I was going to say a sweatshirt. If that's your thing in the middle of the summer, go right on ahead.
Or, I mean, they might want a sweatshirt and wear it in the summertime and the wintertime. But however, there are some offices because I take my sweater to work whenever I have to go into the office because the office is freezing. I never really get that though. It's like, because it's super hot outside doesn't mean that we have to be Alaska inside, you know. So
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because I
any
run
sense.
hot to begin with.
Yeah.
And I get your point because a lot of my meetings that I'll go to, if it's like a group meeting for the job itself.
It's freezing in there.
And so I actually travel, especially get on an airplane. Woo,
yeah.
it switches
Cold
up real
on
quick.
Airplanes.
But I'll wear this 3/4 zip up, and it's on the website as well. Go ahead and take a look at that. And if you're not quite ready for the couple-to-couple coaching, you can always do Raise the Bar. And you can either go directly there from our website or go to raisethebarmarriage.com for a self-paced, I guess, program, if you will, that'll actually lay out some things for you to have discussions about. And there's a workbook that goes along with that. So there's a variety of different ways that we attempt to bless marriages, and we've got some great reviews. Go check out all of that.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Taurus. What's up, girl? Thanks for always supporting us. She's been with us from the very beginning. So I just want to say that Taurus Jackson, thank you, Miss Lady, because she's just good like that. So I wanted to say that. That's just one of the ladies that I want to talk about or just give a shout out to. Also want to shout out the USA Gymnastics team.
Oh, my Lord. Let's not go there.
Listen, y'all, let me tell you something. This is one of our favorite times of the year. This year, I'm so lucky. I feel very blessed because we have gymnastics in the summer, and then right after gymnastics, it's football season. So Super excited about it. I was up till 2:30 watching the replay of the women's gymnastic team. So go, ladies.
Really? Okay. All right.
Why you
So,
say no? Why do you
hold
say
on,
we
hold
can't
on,
go
hold on,
there?
Hold on. What's up, Kings? What's up, Kings?
Okay, good.
Football season right around the corner. Look, you got Hard Knocks coming up. First time ever. We should be getting paid for this stuff, but Hard Knocks coming up, and they're following the AFC North. Arguably, not even arguably, most definitely the most difficult division in the entire NFL. Look, they're going to be following the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, Cincinnati. So they're going to be following all the entire squad, all the squads, all the developments. Check that out. That's one for the Kings. Talking about the ladies and gymnastics.
I'm just saying.
They want to jump
that's
around and hula hoops.
I would love it.
No.
Hula hoops. Okay. Oh,
I'm just playing.
Yeah, because I was about to say somebody was finna go in.
I'm surprised she didn't go on track and field. Anyway, hey, make sure you guys check out the
I
Olympics.
haven't seen that one yet, so I have to go back and watch the replays for those too.
So look, that's not what we wanted to talk about.
But we can talk about regular stuff, Lovey. I know we said everything marriage, but see, this is marriage too. The difference in, what we want to watch.
Well, that's where we're going to go.
Okay, go.
We're going to talk about, because look, by the time you see this is going to be aired on July 3rd, right before Independence Day in the United States. And there's a lot of discussion about independence. I want to talk about having independence in your marriage.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Is that a good thing?
It can be, especially if you're codependent.
Okay, so how define what you believe is codependency in marriage?
If I would have sat here and been like, go ladies, yay, gymnastics, yay, I would have been like codependent because I wouldn't have my own mind. That's why I said fellas, Kings.
What?
NFL.
What?
Let's
now
go.
You just made it about sex.
No, I was just messing with you. But I was just saying, I was going along with you. No, I'm just joking around.
But
Look,
I see your point. Like, you couldn't have your own thought.
My own opinion.
Okay, I got it. Okay,
Codependency is when an individual, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in a marriage. It could be in any relationship, right? Codependency. A lot of times we think about it when it's dealing with substance abuse, whether it be alcohol, hard narcotics, what have you, when somebody is also dependent upon the drugs. You guys are kind of going through these things together. There's a codependency pushing each other or dragging each other or anchoring each other in these negative behaviors. Mm-hmm. But the codependency I'm talking about is when one individual has the appearance or the behavior of not being able to think for themselves in a relationship. There's nothing wrong with having concurrence. We talk about yielding. Y in crazy stands for yielding. So we do talk about how there should be some type of, like I said, concurrence or compromise, what have you. There's a place for that. But when you have no thought, when I think of codependency, there's a scene in Back to America.
Back to America.
The original Back to America, whatever you like.
Oh, Coming to America.
What did I say? Back to America? Oh my Lord. Okay, pull my card. It's pulled. Pull the card. Look, I'm giving it up myself. Where did I get Back to America? Coming to America. I was combining Back to the Future and Coming to America.
What were you combining? Back to the Future?
I don't know where my mind was going. Coming to America, when she was sitting there hopping up on, and Eddie Murphy was like, hop on one leg. Put your hands, all of that. And she was like, whatever you like. Mm-hmm. That's codependency.
Oh, now you say that. You be trying to make me say that earlier.
In the lace, where were my leather? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll be getting it in.
Ridiculous.
No, but that is codependency.
Right. I feel you.
And so what I want to talk about are the different things. There's signs that are out there when it comes to codependency. And these are the things you should look for. Look, we're talking about independence of America, or we're not talking about, but this time of year, everyone's focused on independence of America. I would like us to focus on,
so
but I'm not even going to go there.
That. Okay, well, don't say
of America, not of all the inhabitants of America, but of America. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about the independence of the individual within the marriage.
Okay.
Not butting heads, but having independence. Mm-hmm. I think that we as couples have our own identity. A lot of times people get lost in the identity of their spouse or the identity of their marriage, so much so that they think they have to sacrifice their own signature, their own unique DNA in order to be a part of this covenant.
Okay.
and they lose themselves.
I agree with that. Excuse me. I totally agree with that. And I knew a few people, or a few couples, I should say, that operated that way. And I call it toxic, because there were a lot of problems, and situations like that can lead to or be the gateway for abuse. You know, you can't do anything. You can't make a decision without the input of your spouse because of what type of repercussions that may happen. Now, granted, typically Lovey and I, we don't make decisions without each other, but I know that, and he knows that, we have the space, the capacity to do that if it was called for. I would never I don't make big giant, well, I'm not going to make no big giant decision without him. I'm finna go buy me a car, but your sister. But I'm not gonna, do something like that if it's gonna be something that's gonna create tension or whatever in the house. Now, I've done that before.
Thank you.
Very much in the very beginning of before year 4.
She knew what I was even thinking.
No, I
of.
wasn't. Actually, I thought she was just making noise.
Oh no, I was making noise. But no, and that's where we had our problems, because she did make a big grandiose decision without consulting. Not saying she had to ask my permission.
He was.
But yeah, she did. She needed to ask my permission. No, but just to have a discussion point. Of course, the answer would have been no, but still, it would have been nice to have been consulted. And we've worked through that.
No.
Right? No. But when it comes to making a decision without, it comes down to a key phrase: without input from your partner. If you don't have input from your partner, that's one thing. But to do everything, you absolutely positively need, what color is that? Oh, I don't know. Hold on, Rana. What do you think?
Okay, now you're very ridiculous.
What color is that? No, I mean, that's over the top. That is over the top. But I'm just saying that every little thing.
No, I mean, I think that if we use I don't want to say common sense, because common sense is not common, but we get the picture of certain things or certain people, they can't make a decision. They can't, every time you call them, hey, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I don't know. Let me ask. Like, it's a simple yes or no. But for me, it's a simple yes or no. I don't know what's happening in their house. Right. And so.
Can I get some clarification real quick?
What? This
is something that your brother and I talked about for years.
Which brother? Sensible or insensible?
Unsensible brother. No. So one thing that he was like, man, why you always going to ask my sister when I want to hang out or when we want to do something? There's times where I just want to check in. And a lot of the fellas out there will claim that once your boys get married, that, there was an old skit. I'm going to jump over here. There was an old skit by Sam Kinison. He's a comedian that passed away a long time ago, but he was hilarious. And he had this skit where he was talking about how all the fellas are going out to hang out at the bar. And so he's like, hey, then the guys were like, hey, they called him on the phone. This is before texting people. They called him on the phone and they said, hey, you want to go? So he gets on the, he puts the phone down and says, hold on a second. Hey, babe, all the guys are getting together tonight and they wanted to know if they were all going to take their cojones, because all the wives had the cojones in a jar. They're all going to take their cojones. So I was just wondering, can I wear? No, she said no. She said I can't wear mine. Nope, she said I can't wear them. And it was just a joke that Sam Kinison did, but it was to that myth that once you get married, that you're castrated and you can't make a decision on your own. And there's some guys out there that think that, when their boys get married, that, you can't do anything without getting permission from the wife. And I joke around like, hey, I need to consult my general. But let me let you guys in on a little secret. I
am the general.
Generally wrong all the time.
Good one. Okay, I see you trying to come back.
But let me tell you what's going on. For those of you that don't know the secret, more times than not, if we're going to say, well, that sounds really cool, let me just check in with the wife just to make sure we don't have anything going on. That's generally a no. I don't really want to go, but I don't want to say no right now. I want to.
What?
come back to you. Oh yeah, all the time, almost all the time.
Not for, well, I can't speak for every female, but not for me. I mean, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Okay, let me check with Lovey, make sure we don't have anything going on.
That's her way of saying no.
That is, wow.
And then she just wants to put it on me. I'm just saying. No, but look, we're getting off subject. But you want to be able to make decisions for yourselves, without having to always go to the other. Nothing wrong with consultation. You definitely want input on the big things, but you have to be able to have some independence to be able to make decisions on your own as well. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I think stands out for codependency is when you have to do everything
together.
Everything together.
We got to go to the store together. We got to...
during the honeymoon, that might be cute. Let's go here together. Oh, you crossing the street? Let me cross the street with you too, girl. Come here. Hold on. Wait, let me go with you.
Yeah, so you can hold my hand.
Let me hold your hand. Let me help you cross that street. You going to the bathroom? Girl, let me come in there with you. Lord. Let me just... You know what I mean? But you have to do everything together. Yeah. That's a sign of codependency. Like, oh, I can't... Oh, we're going to have a baby shower. Oh, is it co-ed or is it can my fiance, can my husband come? Oh no, it's just the ladies. Oh, no, I'm going to have to pass.
Well, I mean, back in the day,
I'm saying.
Oh, I see. So the reasoning for it, and you're not saying there's anything wrong with having a codependent.
If you ask, okay, is it
shower, but you can't go if your spouse or someone is not able to go with you.
Right, because that violates the do everything together. You're codependent if you can't, take an inhale and can't exhale without somebody else's permission.
Well, I mean, like you said, it kind of leads back to the honeymoon stage, When you first get together, you're in that euphoric stage or whatever. And of course, you want to start doing everything together. But at some point, then I feel like you start branching out a little bit and getting some of your, some of the things that you used to do, maybe picking those back up again. So the only challenge that I see with that is if it's starting to change how you're able to be independent. You can't. And it's not sometimes it's not even because they said I can't. It's because you feel like maybe insecure or something. I don't know. In the relationship, I make space for the things that you used to love that doesn't necessarily have to do with him or her. You should still make space for them because those things that you used to love, they are part of who you are. Unless, of course, it's going out, something that might be hazardous to the relationship.
True. No, I agree with that. But there is space for independence, right? To be able to do separate things, go separate places.
Because let me tell you right now, Lovey and I cannot shop together. Oh, my gosh. We cannot.
I feel a need to be more codependent. Like, I should go with you.
You can go with me to get gas.
Only because she wants me to get out and pump the gas.
Well, why not?
Nah.
Yeah, you know what? That's a long-standing thing that we've had between each other.
That's a little too codependent.
Okay. Have fun eating air tonight for dinner.
No, there's a dependency there that's needed.
Anyway, no. So, I mean, just it's okay. It should be okay anyway to get back to some of the roots that you used to do, just having, because I feel like everybody needs a little bit of space, and that's not a bad thing to need a little bit of space. I just need some me time.
No, I feel you. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Do you find it difficult to tell me no? Wait, I can answer that for you.
I was like, what?
She's like, what? That's a dumb question. No. No, but I mean, have you ever found it difficult to say no to me?
Yeah, I have. Not because I have, not because, I'm afraid that you're going to be upset. It really does just depend on what it is. If I see that your heart is really set on something like, I really want us to do it, and you're super excited about it. I'm not super excited about a lot of things. but this is something that you're super, into or whatever. I find it hard to say no just because you put a lot of work into it, blah, 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 stuff like that. But not because if it's some random whatever, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
No, and I get that. And and I actually agree with you.
I thought you were going to say, I actually appreciate you for it, but okay.
Yeah, that too. No, but I do appreciate you for that. And I guess the question, I should have rephrased it, but it's not so much saying no for those, because that's the same thing. There's times where I don't want to say no because I've seen you put the work in, and it doesn't make me feel one way or the other. So why say no when the answer could easily be yes, right? But it's those moments, I guess, when we're talking about codependency, if we're talking about a genuine fear of saying no, like I don't dare say no because there'll be repercussions.
Well, I mean, that's underlying abuse. I feel that's just my personal opinion. If I'm afraid to say no because of repercussions, that to me spells out abuse, some type of mental, verbal, physical, financial, you know, that, like, again, that's just my perspective, so that's what I think of that.
No,
How do you feel? Do you ever?
The only time I really don't like saying no, and I refuse to say no, is when she comes in the room in that red dress.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's so ridiculous.
You apologizing for my jokes or my voice? Both.
Okay. Pick. No,
Across the board.
No.
I don't know that it's very similar to yours. I don't like to say no when I know you've put a lot of sweat equity behind something. Whether it be like, we're going to watch this, like there's times where you want to watch like a movie, a romantic movie. That's usually something we have to watch subtitles with because it's a foreign movie that's some romantic thing.
Lord.
But you've like, okay, I got the popcorn, I got this.
If it's movie day, yeah.
And it could be here on the couch and it's just like, oh, it's Thursday and I feel like a good cry or whatever. And if I see that you're like, oh, and it's one of those where like, come be with me, I won't say no.
Okay.
Because I know that there's something going on and it means something to you. So let me sit my butt down at least for a little while.
So this just kind of goes back to today's Sunday night, Paw Patrol. So we have the grandkids. They've been here for almost 3 weeks. And we were going to do movie day because we were all home. And we're like, okay, you guys get to pick a movie. We're going to do a movie night and blah, blah, blah. And they're super excited about it. I get excited because they're excited. And so I'm thinking I wanted to see Migration. And we're like, okay, pick a movie. And Isaiah says Paw Patrol. Mind you, we saw Paw Patrol. We took them to the movies to see it. Paw Patrol has like 5 movies. Anyway, so he picks Paw Patrol. And Lovey is like... Don't nobody want to watch Paw Patrol. He didn't say it to Isaiah, but he said it to me, and I just looked at him. I'm like, babe, come on. He's I don't want to do that, blah, 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 whatever. And I was just like, okay, but that's going to hurt their feelings. I was kind of feeling some kind of way about it too, because I'm like, everybody's there. And so he sucked it up, and he went and sat on the couch and immediately went to sleep. But he was in the room, and that's all that mattered. So...
I had one eye open.
He was snoring.
I was Uncle Cleophas with that one eye open.
But no, that's an instance of that meant something to me, and he knew that it meant something to me. So that's part of the compromising,
Yep. Again, yielding, right?
Yeah.
It's a big part of marriage, big part of long-lasting relationships.
He say it like that. It's a big part of marriage.
Because I speaks the truth.
Whatever.
It's the gospel on here. I'm bringing you the good news, the truth. There's another area of codependency. And this one, I think, happens a lot. Where I think a lot of us need to, because I did it, Rana did it. Most couples I know do it, at least in the early stages.
What I do?
Some do. And that's feeling as if you're responsible for your spouse, for their actions, for their behaviors. You're they do something and you're, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You know, like they did this, or it's like, you know, Lovey still hasn't learned though, you know, how the family operates, or it's always making some form of excuse for the individual if there's errant behavior.
I would love to know when you had to be responsible for my errant behavior.
Yeah, when she didn't want to go to any of my family functions, you know, or deal with certain family members.
They knew why.
And I was like, oh, your wife can't make it? Oh, no, she can't make it. And her toenails are drying.
So what would you, I don't know if I believe that, if I feel like that's a codependency thing. I just feel like, I don't know. Why do you feel like it could be codependency?
Because it's one of those things where you won't accept the fact that the person's behavior is the person's behavior. I don't have an ounce of responsibility for how you behave and what you do. You're your own individual. So I'm not going to take on the responsibility of apologizing for your behavior and what you do. It's more like, that's on her. No, I'm here. We're doing things, whatever. Nope, that's her. Why'd your wife here? She still want to be here. That's all right. Maybe I don't say it like that.
It's like, what?
Maybe it's like, you know, where's Lovey? Oh, he had things to do or whatever. But it's not like you don't apologize for them. It's just they do something. Some people have actually made up stories about why an individual can't do whatever.
Well,
and that's I think making excuses for the individual, which is a form of codependency, or at least a sign.
Well, for me, I feel like if they're making excuses for their why their spouse or partner doesn't want to show up, I just feel like that's just them. I don't look at it as them being codependent. I look at it as them they don't want hard feelings to come about because of the absence of the spouse or the partner. Like if I never show up, somebody in your family or your friends or whatever might start feeling a certain kind of way. Like, so how come they don't never come around? Because they don't want to be around. You're going to say, like you said earlier, because they don't want to be around you. That would create an environment when they actually do come together, you know?
No, I get it. I mean, look. So when I go golfing with my friends, I have two friends that, you know, two people I grew up with, and we go golf, and it's a female and a male. And the females are like, how come Rhonda doesn't come? She should come out. She could just sit in the cart and just drink. And I'm like, I just tell them, stop making excuses. I'm like, nah, it's outdoors. This is outside.
But
if it was an indoor putt, maybe.
But so, to take it further, her feelings were that because I didn't like them, you know, because she said that. Because I know she doesn't like me. But it's like, no, I just don't like to do that, you know?
Yeah, do something like go-kart racing or something like that.
Yeah, so some people will take that person's absence as being like, oh, it's something against them or it's something. No, I just don't like to do the activities that I don't like to do. And I've done it enough times to where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And it had nothing to do with the person. I just don't want to go camping. So I'm not going camping. I mean, you know, so.
She's like, wait, let's sleep on the ground? That's so funny. Listen, the other day we were talking with a couple. We had the opportunity to speak to a marriage group, a large group that's growing dramatically. And they're doing phenomenal work. Shout out to Intentionally Yours in the Sacramento region. They are a phenomenal group being led by Cloyce and Sheila Dickerson that just do phenomenal work. And it's a Christian-based organization that's really focused on the covenant of marriage. But anyway, they asked us to speak this past weekend for their quarterly meeting on grief and loss. But we had a side conversation about vacations and going places and doing things. And we were talking about the place over in Africa. They do this safari. It's like a luxury safari. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've seen stuff like that. That would be amazing.
It looked beautiful.
And Rhonda was like, look, the moment she saw the pictures and she was like, because it's gorgeous. It's luxurious.
Setup. It is absolutely beautiful.
And she was like, where are the windows?
I was was like, well, what is the surrounding? Like,
Is that a net? Where's the door?
yeah, where's?
And they fell out laughing.
And I'm like, and where am I using the bathroom at? I mean,
Stuff like that.
That's just
Stuff like that. So she's not an outdoors person.
at all.
And I still want to go to this. It's a beautiful place. It's
I do too. I
over
just
on the
want
land.
some things answered. That's
I need running water. Is there room service?
How are we eating? What is going on?
Oh my goodness. But anyway, that's it. But look, let me do this real quick. Last time we didn't get to the segment that's sponsored by raisethebarmarriage.com. And I do want to get there because we want to help everybody raise the bar in your marriage. Mm-hmm. And BAR is an acronym that stands for belief, actions, results. Shift your beliefs because your beliefs are going to determine or dictate your actions. Those actions are going to yield the results that you want in your marriage. And we always want to leave you with one thing that you could actually put into action prior to hitting stop and get out of your car, whatever it is, before the end of the podcast, right? And that one thing that I want to talk about today is kind of incongruency with what we're talking about. It's pursuing individual hobbies or pursuits. Mm-hmm. Doing something that really interests you, and you will do it regardless of whether or not your spouse is going to participate. It's always great when the spouse shows interest, like, hey, how'd you do today? Oh, how was that? Like the golfing thing that I just mentioned. Snooks does not want to golf, has no interest in golfing, refuses to golf. I wanted to get her golf lessons, all that. Nope.
Yeah, he's right. I ain't gonna lie.
She was about to.
No, I wasn't actually. But what I was gonna say was, if there's something that your spouse, a hobby that they love to do, if you were like an avid golfer, I would probably put more effort into, okay, let me learn it so that maybe it is something that we can do together every now and again, not all the time. Be open to it. I'm telling y'all to be open. I ain't open to go on safari, but.
No, and that's a key point. Look, even though we're saying that you should have individual pursuits, there still is a requirement to take an interest, whatever that may be. And I'm saying there's varying degrees of taking an interest from, level 10, actually getting in, rolling up the sleeves and participating occasionally, once or twice, what have you. You never know. You might learn to love it. Or just occasionally say, hey, how's it going? Being aware of it, knowing some of the jargon, getting involved in that extent, and just knowing that you care about the other person's experience.
Even if it's enough to where you, like you said, knowing jargon, he can come home or she can come home and tell you something about it, and you're not totally lost. You can actually have a conversation. That's another way of sharing also. So.
Exactly. So that's something that you can do immediately. If you don't already have a hobby, think about looking for something that you can do by yourself or for yourself. I won't even say by yourself, for yourself.
For yourself. That's the key.
It's right self-care in another form.
In a different way. Yep.
Yeah. So we both love massages, but we don't like couples massages.
Because, no.
It's distracting.
I mean, all we did was fall asleep.
Not
the times that we went, we fell asleep.
We paid all this money to sleep next to each other? Right. So anyway, I digress. But hey, that's the raise the bar moment for the day. So in closing, what I really want to do is just encourage everybody just to take a look. If you feel like something's amiss in your relationship, or if somebody that truly cares about both you and your spouse says, it's okay if you do other things, whatever, let your ears perk up like, am I codependent? Is this a codependent relationship? Doesn't require a long, hard stare. A quick glance will tell you whether you are or aren't.
Yeah.
But at least be aware of it. And if you actually know a couple that has those traits of being codependent, don't be a bull in a china shop and go, hey, I listened to a podcast and you guys are codependent. You need to fix. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Be a friend and just offer them opportunities to kind of ease their way out of that. Because some people have a misguided idea of what marriage is supposed to be, and they think that's what it's supposed to look like sometimes. Yeah. And if it's even more intense, then it's okay to recommend counseling or go into counseling yourself to ensure that you can break that codependency, because sometimes it's deeply rooted in some things that have happened to us in our childhood and hasn't been completely dealt with or dealt with at all.
Yep.
So with that said, until the next time,
be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.